the show. Today we have a fascinating guest who's going to give us a bit of insight to golf. I mean, I'm sure all of us have got activities we do, sports and activities that we sort of find some time for ourselves. And we're going to speak to a guest shortly who's going to give us an insight how golf provided her for solace, so to speak. And we're going to speak to the spokesperson of England Golf, Ben White and Kaz Grant. Welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Thanks, Jimmy.
So we start with yourself, Ben. What does the research sort of tell us? I mean, I suppose traditionally, and correct me if I'm mistaken, golf sometimes can be perceived as a sport that maybe men play. Certainly, the sort of conversations I have, I talk to colleagues and friends, and they play golf. But what's your take on the research around this?
Well, exactly what you've just said there, Jimmy, is kind of dated views, I think, that have carried through generations of what golf is and who it belongs to, and what the research is telling us emphatically is that there is a real desire from women and girls in particular to try a hand at the sport. And I think the reason why that is, and the main piece of evidence that comes through on the research is because there's so many different levels to the game now, where it's perceived as just an 18-hole, 5 hours of a day. If you did that, you were a golfer. Now you can hit a driving range, you can go into adventure golf, and it's a lot more accessible, it's a lot more affordable, it's less time consuming. So I think breaking the game out to different demographics and a broader space is making it more welcoming.
Absolutely, and I sort of saw your case study, Kaz, and it kind of resonated with myself in terms of, like for various reasons, I might go to a golf range even just to, hit a few golf balls and just, get out of my own way, so to speak, just be in that moment. But it's kind of struck a chord, really. Can you tell us about your experience, like what sort of golf did for you?
Yeah, sure. So I originally started golf about 6 years ago, and I started playing with my husband at the time. And that was great as an introduction to get me into golf. But then a few years later, we got divorced. And I kind of found myself in a bit of my world shattered a little bit. And I had to start rebuilding myself and refinding myself. And golf kind of took a back seat as this was happening. But then I stepped back into the driving range, back onto the golf course as somebody on my own then without the golf partner. And I kind of rebuilt my golf life and created this community group of women and got connected to more women golfers. And ever since, it's just flourished, and it's given me a chance to flourish again. It's given me something for me. It's given me something to focus on when the days have been quite tough, and something to just, keep the exercise going and keep getting you outside and back into nature. I think there's so many benefits to golf that before you get into golf, you don't really realise.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree entirely, and for sure, it ticks a lot of boxes, like you said before. Being in the greenery, just being in that moment, just putting everything to one side and focusing on sort of that sense of self. It's almost like a form of meditation, being out there and sort of, not having to sort of think as well about all the things that are going on in the world too. And in terms of yourself, I mean, yeah, it's really interesting how you sort of kept going and like on your journey now. What would you say to anyone who's sort of contemplating starting golf? Because I think sometimes people kind of get like this misconception of what it's like, and I suppose if you turn up to like a golf club, maybe a range, it might be, if you've not done it before, a bit intimidating for some people. What would you say, Cass, to someone sort of contemplating it?
Yeah, it can be scary pitching up, especially on your own. So I'd say maybe get a friend that is also interested in it. Go and find somewhere local to you that is a welcoming course. Like there's lots of kind of beginner courses out there / driving ranges, even virtual golf facilities nowadays in towns. Go to somewhere like that where it's a bit more relaxed and fun. And just ask them if they've got any pathways into golf. There's also the England Golf have got a website at the moment that's going to be pushed out more through this campaign, and it is www.getintogolf.co.uk. Go on there and have a little look, because that's specifically designed to give you the local things nearest to you that's going to help you get into the sport. So just go and try it, because you never kind of know what it's going to be like or if it's going to be beneficial to you or not unless you try.
Absolutely. And are you really competitive, Kaz? Are you sort of
No, I'm the most uncompetitive person in the world. Like, I beat myself up more than I'm kind of competitive against anyone else, I think. But that's the thing with golf, isn't it? It's you against you. Even if you're playing with others on the course, it's still, that you want to be better than that last shot you did. So that's really good. Yeah, no,
so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think sometimes people have that sort of misconception that sort of you go out there and you want to sort of, beat the person. I'm sure you. I mean, I must admit, I am super competitive, but I don't like getting beat, especially to some people. It's all coming out now, but there's certain friends and colleagues I can't bear the thought of. But inside, like you said, it is an individual thing, isn't it? You can go out there and just try and improve yourself, and some days you'll do well, maybe some days you won't do as well, but the objective really of getting out there, and the benefits of like walking too and getting that exercise are really important too. And just on that sort of, Ben, Kaz mentioned there about the website and people who are looking to get involved. What about like sort of age as well? Ben, I know it's sort of going off track a little bit, but in terms of what age can sort of people get involved in golf?
And that's the beauty of it, Jimmy. There really isn't any barriers. We often use the phrase, you can be 5 or 95. The sport accommodates you in some capacity, and as we alluded to earlier, it's there as a great tool to experience life skills, not just playing the game of golf. You learn the art of being patient. You learn the art of interaction with different people, and having to plod around a golf course if that's your method of choice, and it brings so many skills to the table. But then, as Kaz alluded to, maybe there's a period of your life where you will then not play golf because there are other elements that take over, and you can pick the game back up when you're in your more twilight years, and really focus on that. And the game doesn't discriminate; it's there for everybody. So I just urge anybody to go and look on social channels throughout the week, find out what deals and discounts there are for facilities, and as Kaz mentioned, get onto the Get Into Golf website, find somewhere near to you, and just give it a go, and that's all we can ask, and that's what the week's designed to do.
No, absolutely, and I suppose the other side to it too as well, I mean, I sort of mentioned to sort of Kaz there as well, Ben, where someone might be a little bit sort of nervous, driving in and sort of making their way in type thing. And what are some insights you can maybe give them to prepare? I suppose it's like anything really. You go to the gym for the first time, you go anywhere for the first time. It can be a bit intimidating to a certain degree. But what would you say to someone sort of thinking about, I want to take it up, but I'm not quite sure about sort of making my way down to the golf course and sort of beginning from there?
Well, it again kind of sounds a little bit like I'm repeating myself, trying to push the narrative about the driving range access and adventure golf. I think the golf course environment can be intimidating, and we appreciate that. And I think take a step back and maybe try something that's a little bit more accessible, like a driving range. You can go, they have music, they have food, there's people there of all abilities, all ages. The pressure is off. It's your own private space. Or go and put around a pirate ship, whichever you choose to do. Just get familiar with that, hitting a ball with a golf club, and slowly the confidence will build. And when you feel the time is right and you want to go and tackle a golf course out in the beautiful countryside, then give it a go. But there's many ways to play before you get to that stage.
Absolutely, and I think that's an important point you've made there, because I think a lot of people might not be aware of that. And I think one thing about the UK, England, is that you've got a lot of variety in terms of you can go to the range, you can go to a smaller golf course, you can go to all different types of golf courses as well. I mean, I've got a couple not too far from where I live, and there's one you can literally just turn up and there's not that many people there type thing, and it's quite relaxed, and informal as well, and there's a driving range not too far away. And where can people have a look and just sort of remind them of the website where they can look and see and find the different outlets available? Because I think sometimes the thing as well, people might not be aware what's available. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be aware there's a golf course not too far from where I am, and a driving range is kind of hidden away type thing. But where can people kind of find more info where they can find the course or a range?
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy. There's a lot of information on the England Golf website, englandgolf.org website. Go there and there's a find and play functionality. At England Golf, because we're the governing body for amateur golf in England, we have just shy of 1,800 golf clubs that are affiliated to us, and we've also most recently started to bring on board facilities, the driving ranges you speak about, to become affiliated to England Golf. So all their information is displayed on our find and play page. Go and have a look, find out what you want. There's lots of detail. So if you want to know what facilities that golf course has, it's all listed on the relevant page. And then, as Kaz alluded to, if you're looking for a particular program, maybe with a group of friends, get onto the Get Into Golf website, .co.uk, and you'll be able to find a program which is near to you, where you can go at a very affordable rate and give it a go. The beauty of our game is it's expanding in a way which is becoming more accessible. And England Golf, we want the sport to be as inclusive as possible. And hearing stories like Kaz's just brings it back to life and means that we should be doing more of this profiling to raise the profile of our sport and try and reduce that stigma and maybe dated perceptions there are out there of our sport.
Absolutely. I think it's a great story, Kaz, yours. I think it's sort of fantastic that you sort of, you're out there, you're sort of playing, you've kept on playing, and I think that's, one way to kind of, lead by example. And, I think as well as that, I think for a lot of people, it's even from a social perspective, it's not easy to sort of get out there, and it's a good opportunity for people to make, friends as well socially, which has a lot of value in people's well-being as well. So it's brilliant. So thanks for your time, Kaz and Ben, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.